Welcome to You Are Not a Goat. If you want to follow your passion and do what you love, this is the podcast for you. Without further ado, here's your host, Slimy Zions.
Hello and welcome to the very first full episode of You Are Not a Goat. My name is Shlomi Zions and I am your host. Firstly, I'd like to thank all of you for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. I've been getting messages from people all over the world who are excited. They listened to the trailer. They were looking forward to the first full episode. I am also looking forward to the first full episode. And in order to start off the podcast in a fashion that I felt most people would appreciate, I tried to think about what subject would people like hearing about in the very first full episode. And what I came to was travel. Perhaps it's just me, but I don't think it's just me. I love travel. Most people I know love travel, and I've never really met anybody who said, "Oh, travel, that's so boring." Travel is fascinating, going to new places, meeting new people, understanding new cultures, and therefore I found it suitable to host a guest who is a full-time traveler. His name is Drew Binsky. He's a nice Jewish boy from the United States. And for the past 6 or 7 years, he's been traveling the world full-time with a goal to visit every single country in the world. There are about 195 countries, plus 2 or 3 or minus 2 or 3. I'm not sure exactly what the number is. It does change from time to time, as every now and then a new nation is formed. Anyhow, Drew Binsky has been to over 150 of these countries, meaning that he's more than 75% complete in his mission to visit every country in the world. What's amazing about what Drew is doing is not only is traveling his passion and something he enjoys, but he actually managed to turn it into a full-time business by making YouTube videos, Facebook videos, blogging, getting sponsorships. I think he even does some of his own like tours in Asia and stuff like that. So I had a conversation with him last week. It was fascinating, and I'd like to share it with you guys. So without any further ado, here is Drew Binsky. Hey Drew, welcome to the show.
How's it going, Shlomi? It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you on the program.
No problem.
So, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I chanced upon some of your videos. I'm not sure if it was on Facebook or on YouTube. I see that you're working on traveling to every country of the world. And number one, how old are you?
I'm 27.
Wow. And how many countries have you been to?
I've been to 161. I have 36 more, which I'm planning to finish in January of 2020.
Wow. And how long has this journey been? Like, when did you start?
January 2012, so about 7 years ago. I studied abroad in Czech Republic. That was my first time overseas. Actually, I take it back. My first time overseas was Birthright in 2009. And in 2012, I moved to Prague for 6 months and traveled all around Europe that semester. That like opened up my eyes to the world. Went back to Wisconsin, graduated, and then moved to South Korea to teach English for 2 years. While I was in Korea, started a travel blog to document my journey, and that evolved into social media, Snapchat, Instagram. And that evolved into video making. So now I make daily videos on Facebook and YouTube. Got almost 1 billion overall views, 3.3 million followers, and
wow.
trying to visit every country.
So let's take a step back. You grew up in Wisconsin?
I grew up in Arizona, but just went to school in Wisconsin.
Okay. And what's your family situation like? Like, were your parents into travel at all?
Not really. We traveled domestically. I used to play competitive hockey and golf, so I would travel around the States. But, family trips to the Bahamas, Mexico, Canada, the typical American trips. But no, we didn't really. My sisters and my parents are not huge travelers overseas, so it's just me.
Right. And when did your interest in travel start? You said that was when you went to Prague?
Yeah, when I went to Prague in 2012 for 6 months. Yeah.
And did you go to Prague because you wanted to travel, or just like the only option, and then from there it opened your eyes?
No, it's just I always liked geography as a kid, like learning about the world and memorizing the cities and countries and capitals. So that stuff always interested me. But the first opportunity to live abroad was Prague, so I jumped on it and I just went without knowing any friends. Went to Prague and traveled all over Europe that semester. It was incredible, and that like solidified my travel bug. I guess that's where I got the travel bug, and
Right.
from then on out, it's history, man.
So you did 6 months in Prague. What was the next big trip from when you like leaving Europe, let's say?
Leaving Europe, I went back to the States. I spent one more year of college, my senior year in 2012, 2013, and then as soon as I graduated, May 2013, like 2 days later, jumped on a plane to South Korea, just because I thought it was a great opportunity again to live abroad. I was teaching English.
In
I was in a
Seoul?
small, yeah, it's 30 kilometers south of Seoul. So basically, yeah, Seoul. But I was the only foreigner in my like village area, and lived there for 2 years. Can speak Korean, loved it. Trained to be a black belt in Taekwondo. I was like fully immersed in Korean culture, and traveled all over Asia that semester or those 2 years. Sorry, and I'm still living in Asia. It's 2019, and I'm still in Asia. So 5 years, 6 years in Asia.
And where are
Yeah,
you based out of?
I'm based in Bangkok, but I'm currently in Malaysia. And I won't be back home in Bangkok until August. I'll be in the next upcoming few months are Philippines, Pakistan, Norway, Iraq, Afghanistan, then back to the Philippines, then to the U.S., and then to North Africa, West Africa.
Wow. Now, from my understanding, I mean, first, can you tell me some of the notable places you've been, like places that are harder to get to that most people would not have been to?
Like as which passport? American, Israeli. Israeli is hard to go many places,
Right,
like
but
Malaysia, where I
you're
am
an
now.
American, I assume.
Yes. So you're talking about as an American passport holder, what's
Yeah,
hard to get into?
yeah,
Iran was tough, but that's one of my favorite countries in the world.
right.
Pakistan was really tough. I just got the visa. Afghanistan was tough. I just did two of the top five hardest visas I got in the last like week. Yemen and Syria are the two hardest, which I've never been to yet. But other than that, it's just a matter of applying for the visas, having the right paperwork, and then waiting and paying a lot of money. This is expensive, man. Like a lot of African visas, you're talking like $200 to $300 each,
Wow.
and you're talking like 30 to 40 visas. So do the math. That's just for visas. Talking about
Wow.
flights, man. Talking about flights to some of these remote countries. Last month I did all the Pacific except for Vanuatu and Palau, so I did 9 countries. And there's one flight a week to a country called Tuvalu.
Yeah.
It's the third least visited country in the world. They get like 200 tourists a year. So
Oh
that's
my
like
goodness.
and the flight cost me 1,200 one way from Micronesia to Tuvalu. 1,200 US dollars one way, and it had 5 layovers to get there. So
Whoa.
it's like super remote, man. Like very few people have heard of this country and have visited these countries. It's not only Nauru. I mean, it's not only Tuvalu. It's Nauru, Kiribati, Micronesia. All these little countries are tough.
I've never
Actually,
even
I
heard a
don't
lot
need
of
a
these
visa.
places.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need a visa, so they're not tough to enter, like paperwork wise, but to plan and to spend the money, it's a lot. It's tough.
Right. And can you tell me a little bit about Iran? That sounds like a really exotic place. Almost no American citizens travel there, and it's very hard to get there. What was that like?
Iran's incredible. As an American, you have to be on. It's mandatory to be on a guided tour.
Hmm.
So I had to go with a company, and I had
And
to
how
have a
long were
tour
you there
guide.
for?
I was there for 16 days last June. But yeah, it's unbelievable place. Like the hospitality, the people are so friendly, more than anywhere else. I tend to say that a lot. People are friendly in Lebanon and Israel, whatever. But in Iran, it's just like over the top. They love Americans. They love Jews. I love. What part of my thing is like I think I'm gonna be the first Jewish person to visit every country when I'm done. I think so. I don't know of any others that have.
Right.
But I love telling people that I'm Jewish in Muslim countries. It's one of my favorite things to do. Actually, I had a TED talk yesterday, and one of my main themes was being a Jewish person traveling around countries like Malaysia and stuff like that, and opening up. And not once have I come across face to face, eye to eye with someone who said anything negative about Judaism. And I've probably talked to, I want to say thousands, but probably hundreds of people in Muslim countries about Judaism. So it's a beautiful thing.
Wow. And why do you? So, I'm also Jewish. Obviously, I
Of
travel a
course, I
lot.
see the
Not nearly.
pace.
Yeah, I don't travel nearly as much as you do, but I do get around a lot because of my work. I was in Lebanon in the summer. I went to Saudi
Nice.
Arabia in December, and
Dude, cool.
yeah, I mean, were you there yet?
No, but you have an Israeli passport?
No, I don't.
Oh, you have a U.S. passport.
Yeah, but it's even hard to get a visa there because they just don't give them out. There was a one window in December where they opened up
Correct.
for the.
I know with the sporting event. I know
Yeah,
about it.
what, like, wasn't that interesting to you?
I was traveling. I couldn't fit it in my trip, but I will be in Saudi soon, and we should talk separately about that, not on this podcast.
Okay, awesome. So anyway, I don't know. I don't feel as comfortable as you do telling people I'm Jewish because I don't know. I just feel like it could put me in a situation where I'd be. It's possible that I'd be in danger.
When have you felt like that, and where?
Mostly Lebanon. Saudi Arabia wasn't as bad. Some people did know that I was Jewish, but Lebanon I was really scared. People were nice and
Yeah.
everything, but I didn't tell anyone that I was Jewish. I just didn't feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean. Also, not. I mean, you look more Jewish than me by the physical appearance.
Right, so
So
I had
maybe,
to alter my appearance.
yeah, so maybe that's also something to do with it. I don't know, but I guess I'm a risky person. I guess that's what it comes down to. I mean,
Right.
yeah, technically, I could tell someone I'm Jewish and they could cut my head off, but so far that hasn't happened. So,
Right, well, this is the first time for everything.
I guess so. Yeah.
So, you went to Iran and you said you were there for 16 days. Did you feel threatened by anyone at all? Like, some people feel like the government there is rogue and they might use an American citizen as a bargaining chip. How did you get yourself comfortable with the fact that you're visiting a really what the United States would consider an adversary nation?
Sure. So first of all, governments do not equal the people, especially in Iran. Whatever you see on the media, whatever you hear about, is the government only, and the people are completely different. That's
The
just how it
government
is.
is still in charge.
Yeah, the government's in charge, of course. But once you're on the ground, I'm not talking to the government ever, unless I do a crime.
Right.
I mean, when in any country, when do I ever talk to the government? I'm just talking to the people. Of course, I'm obeying the rules. I went to North Korea. When you're in North Korea, you cannot talk about the leaders, past, current, or present leaders. Like, I mean, you can't mention the name Kim Jong-un or they will come after you like they did to that one guy.
Right.
If you remember,
Yeah, sure.
so yeah, so you just gotta know where you are and play the role and just don't do anything stupid. However, that being said, this is a really long story, so I'll make it in 20 seconds. When I entered Iran, I was on a tourist visa. And when I was on the plane there, the government found out that I make videos as a living and I make money through my videos, so they wanted me to be on a journalist visa. And so for that reason, they kept calling my tour guide and asking him all these questions about what I was filming and making sure I wasn't, yeah, it's a much longer story than that. So the government was watching me in Iran, so that's why I decided not to post anything live. I
Right.
posted everything when I left Iran. And actually, when I left and I uploaded all my content in Iran, the government loved it so much, and this is a true story, that they invited me back to Iran, all expenses on them, like the tourism board, the government, the Ministry
Wow.
of Foreign Affairs.
I was about to
And-
ask you if you feel comfortable
Yeah.
going back after you
Oh
publish.
yeah,
your
they,
content.
they loved it. So they were skeptical of what I was going to post. They knew I had been to Israel. By the way, they stalked my social media. They stalked everything, and you're not allowed to go to Iran if you've been to Israel. But they let me get in, and now they invited us back, and I'm gonna go next year because they loved my videos in Iran had about 40 million views between Facebook and YouTube. I made 15 videos in Iran, and I to this day I get dozens of emails daily from Persians that are like, "Wow, thank you so much. You made my country look wonderful," and it is wonderful.
Right.
So yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now that we talked a little bit about the traveling, can you tell me a little bit about the business aspect of things? What is it that you do? Like, how do you make money?
Sure. So it started off as travel blogging with a B, and I would just document my trips and whatever.
So I mean, you got some paid advertising on your site.
Yeah, paid advertising, got some free hotels, free flights, whatever.
Yeah.
That transitioned into Snapchat. So I got on Snapchat in January 2015 before a lot of creators, before a lot of brands were on it. It was you're American. It was huge in the US like in 2015, 16, 17. not 17, 15, 16. And those
I feel
2
like
years,
it's past though. I feel like
yeah,
Snapchat is on
no,
the
it's
way
gone.
down.
It's dead now.
Yeah.
It's dead now. But 2015 and 16, I was making a full-time living collaborating with brands on Snapchat.
Wow.
Like I was making thousands of dollars per, per month. Just I got invited to go to the Olympics in Rio by them, and Snapchat was crazy, man. And then that evolved into videos when my girlfriend bought me a nice camera, and she said you should start posting on YouTube and Facebook. So I did. A couple of my first videos went viral, and I started focusing only on video. I dropped blogging, and I make money through advertisements on Facebook and YouTube, and then sponsorships through travel brands, companies, airlines, whatever like that. Tourism boards, but I tend to do less and less of those because I want to like stay authentic. I don't want to be
You
like,
don't want
hey
to be
guys,
biased. Yeah.
say, hey guys, buy this water bottle. It's the best brand. Like I don't do that crap. So I just I try to stay true and authentic, and yeah, advertisements. So the more views I get on a video, the more money I'll make, essentially.
Wow. And do you have somebody helping you like edit or film, or do you have like people working for you?
Yeah, in the room right next to me right now is my buddy Michael. He's a Canadian filmmaker, and I brought him onto the team 4 months ago, and he travels with me full time. I pay him salary and cover all of his travel to film and also to help edit. And then I have a couple assistants who go through my messages on Facebook, Instagram, email. I get over 1,000 messages a day, private messages,
Wow.
and she kind of filters through them. And she reaches out like if I'm going to Japan next month, so she's reaching out to find some potential sponsors and stuff like that.
Right. So there's a lot of these kind of people running around the world. Obviously, most of them aren't as big as you. Like you're one of the really big ones who are practically living abroad full time, traveling. A lot of them are just like sort of in it just to get by, meaning as long as they can pay for their travel,
Sure,
they'll keep going.
sure.
But that's not you. This is like a real business. This is profitable.
Yeah. This is six-figure plus profitable. I mean,
Nice.
last year,
Nice.
but 2 years ago it was not even 1/5 of that. So my income jumped a lot last year because Facebook rolled out their advertising just like YouTube. I'm not sure if you've seen my or any Facebook videos, but you'll see a little ad in there,
Okay.
and that generates a lot of income. Like it can be exponential growth, man. If a video hits, I've had 5 videos on Facebook that have hit over 10 million views, and you get about $1,000 per. Sorry, yeah, you get about $1,000 per million views. So it's crazy, man.
Wow. So would you call yourself a YouTuber or no?
I don't like to, I hate that word because when I think of a YouTuber, I think of like someone who just sits in front of the camera and talks. Hey, this morning for breakfast, I ate cereal and it was so good. Like I don't do that crap. I just promote travel experiences. I show like people places that they never heard about. I talk about, economics. I studied economics in school, so I'm really interested in that kind of stuff, how cultures work and all that stuff. And I just talk about things that are interesting and things that matter, topics that matter. So I think I'm more than just a YouTuber who just puts a camera in front of their face and talks about their life struggles.
Right. And do you ever plan on settling down, or you just want to keep doing this forever?
I'll keep doing this until I finish the countries, like at this rate,
Right.
which is in about a year, and then I would like to get a show on American television.
Hmm.
But I mean, everybody says that, right? So you do. I mean,
But not everyone's as
that
big
would.
as you.
I guess so, but you know, everyone who moves to LA wants to be an actor in Hollywood, and even the ones who have already big TV shows, they can't become that big actor in Hollywood. So it's something that I want to do, but I'm gonna keep doing the little steps to get there, basically.
And when you say you want to get a show, you mean something like,
Anthony Bourdain, what he had on
yeah,
CNN, like a big travel show. I think I'm still too young. Like I'm naive in their eyes, right? I'm 27.
right.
Anthony Bourdain was 60, and a lot of these travel hosts are in their 40s and 50s because I guess you're wiser the older you are. So maybe I just need to wait a couple years. But yeah, regardless, like I'm having fun, man, just making videos on my own and traveling. So I'm not in a hurry to get a TV show. That would just be, I guess, a
Dream.
goal of mine. Yeah, a
Yeah,
dream.
but you could definitely do it because, as they say, everyone in Hollywood, working in a coffee shop or being a waiter, everyone's an actor, everyone's this. But the fact is, most of them don't have anything to show for themselves. They're just
Good
someone who
point.
wants to be an actor, and you actually have a huge following. So
That's a good
I
point.
think it's
And it's
really
also about
doable.
networking as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
networking as well. So for sure. Hope so.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
Thanks, man.
Now, what would you say to other people who would like to do something similar to what you're doing? Is it still possible for someone to start and really make it, or would you say like the time has passed and you're too late?
100% possible, but it is a lot of freaking work. And I cannot even stress how much, I mean, everyone says they don't have time to do anything, right? But I literally don't have time. Making daily videos, I sleep about 4, maybe 5 hours if I'm lucky at night. So let's say I'm up at 7 and I go to bed at, 2 and the whole day. So that's 18 hours if I did my math right, 17, 19, whatever.
Right.
All that time I'm scripting, filming, editing, mostly editing, coming up with ideas, finding locals to shoot with, finding locations, all that stuff. It's full time. Even anytime, man, I'm on the metro, I'm sitting on the toilet, I'm walking around. Anytime I'm writing scripts, I'm filming. It's like even when I'm at lunch, it's crazy, man. It's like nonstop. Because I make video every day, which is
Right.
my choice. I can make 3 videos a week, but I started doing dailies, and you get that like momentum going, and then like I can't like slow down. It's like addictive, It's like you got to keep pushing it forward. So
And is
yeah.
there none of that work that you can outsource?
Not really. That's why I hired Michael to come with me, because he's
Right.
physically with me. But I can't send people footage on Wi-Fi because, of course, in Malaysia and in Thailand it works fine. But when I go to Africa, the Wi-Fi is horrible, man. I can't just send someone 10 gigabytes of footage to edit and send it back to me. And I have such a quick turnaround time that I need to post every 24 hours. So it would take me just as long to send them the footage than to just edit the video myself. So the answer to your question is no. Unless they're traveling with me, which I have now, then I can't outsource any video. I could outsource blogging, like someone wants to write on my website, but, blogging to me is a thing of the past. So
Is it just a thing of the past for you, or it's a thing of the past, period?
I think period, because everything is moving towards video. Look at Facebook, man, and Instagram. Everything you see now is like a video. I remember like just a couple years ago on Facebook, it was not many videos. It's just like photos and people's statuses. I don't ever see statuses anymore. I just see video. Scroll your Facebook now. You don't have to, but you just see videos,
And
videos,
Instagram
and
didn't even have a video option.
Yeah, Instagram didn't even have video, and now mostly I'm seeing videos. So I just think people's attention span is getting lower and lower. And maybe the older generation is still reading. I don't know, they still read newspapers, I guess, and they still read blogs. But my target market, which is 18 to 30, they're not reading anything. They're just watching a 2-minute video. So I'm focused on that.
Right. And obviously you know who Nas is, right?
Yeah, he's actually a good friend. I've met him 6 or 7 times.
Okay, so I met him once. Nice guy. He was doing the daily videos, but he told me it was like really affecting his health. Like he couldn't do it anymore.
Dude, you interviewed him on the podcast.
I didn't interview him. I just had a conversation with him. I met him at
Yeah,
an event in Israel.
It's true, man. Like, it's definitely true. I struggle with the same things that he used to struggle with. He doesn't do daily anymore for that
He
reason.
moved to weekly.
Yeah.
You think it's
Yeah,
affecting his wallet?
Probably, but I don't think he cares. He's doing bigger things. He's trying to do this.
Started
I don't even
comedy
know.
and stuff.
I don't even know what he's doing. But honestly, I don't think that ever bothered him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would you say travel has changed you?
Good question. Like, I went to Hebrew school. I had a bar mitzvah, talking about the Judaism stuff. But we were always told, or I was told, that Muslims are not the nicest people. I just, I was intimidated. The word is intimidated. I was intimidated by them. I would hear about all the terrorists were Muslims.
Yeah,
But then you
9/11
go to,
really, I think, really damaged
yeah.
society.
It put a dent in my brain. Yeah, as like I was in 5th grade when that happened. So as a 5th grader, what do you think, right?
Yeah.
So then I went to Muslim countries. I've been to many. Those are all my favorite countries are in the Middle East, pretty much. And I realized that Muslims are incredible people, and they're so warm and humble and friendly and hospitable. And not just Muslims, but to answer your question, I just people. My biggest realization is that people are just so. They're just so cool. I mean, it's a very cliche thing to say, but it needs to be said because it's true. That people are all the same. We all have the same wants and needs. Everybody needs to eat and sleep and laugh and love. But it's just like it's very genuine when you go to some really faraway place in the middle of Angola where like few Westerners have ever been.
Right.
And you sit around a campfire and like, you have nothing in common with these people except the fact that you're human, and you just get along, and it's cool. It's a special experience. So that's my biggest realization, is that everyone's just the same pretty much.
Wow. Can you share with me a few, perhaps some crazy stories that happened to you throughout years of traveling? Something that the listeners
Define
would
crazy.
enjoy?
Like a
Maybe.
bus crash in India, is that
No,
crazy enough?
sure. Let's hear that one.
Okay, I was traveling in India 2015. At that point I was a budget backpacker. I was doing $500 a month for 3 months by myself. I was in Rajasthan province in the northwestern part, traveling from Udaipur to Jodhpur on an overnight 12-hour bus. Boarded the bus. It was a sleeper bus, so I was on the top bunk. Just as I was going to fall asleep, and all of a sudden the bus driver slams on the brakes, turns the wheel all the way to the left. Bus flies 2 meters, or I don't know, 6, 7 feet off a hill, off of the freeway. All the windows shattered, dust flying everywhere. We were in the desert. I had sandals on, so all the glass went in my foot. My foot was all bloody, but I was lucky that glass didn't hit me in the neck or anything. People were blood everywhere. Everyone's screaming, crying. Had to get off the bus, and 2 people didn't make it. I don't know that they died because I didn't see their faces, but they were trapped in the bus, and everybody kept doing this sign, like putting their hand by their neck, like they didn't make it. So I think 2 people died, and another bus had to come pick me up and take me to the city, and I was just like shaken and messed up. So that was the scariest moment, I would say. And I have a little bit of PTSD just thinking about that. I don't take any more night buses in countries like India because, a lot of those bus crashes happen and they go unreported. So, it's scary to think about what would have happened if I didn't make it out there alive,
Right. And can you share with me perhaps a happy story, a funny story, or someone who showed you amazing kindness? Like, help me believe that the world's a good place.
Yeah, that's an intense story. Last week, 2 weeks ago, exactly 2 weeks ago, I was finishing up my trip in the Pacific Islands. So I was in Tonga. It was my last country there, south of Fiji, in between Fiji and New Zealand.
Right.
Showed up there on a Sunday in the capital city called Nuku'alofa, and I was walking around, and it was just completely dead. You could hear a pin drop. It was eerie. I thought there was a natural disaster or a terrorist attack. I was like, why? How could there be not a single person out in the middle of the 12 o'clock noon daytime? And then I came to realize by talking to people that the entire country closes on Sunday, and it's the only country in the world where it's illegal in their constitution to work on Sunday. So if you're seen mowing the lawn, if you're seen opening up your shop, they take you to jail because it's a kingdom. So it's been a kingdom for years, and the king orders that, it's a very Christian Catholic country. It's like 98% Catholic, and on Sundays you only can go to church and you can only go home. And it was weird. So anyways, that's the story of Tonga. So I was walking around on Sunday. I was hungry, starving. It was like 2 p.m. I haven't eaten yet.
Right.
And I was like, man, there's no restaurants open. What can I eat? So all of a sudden I run into this dude about my age on the street. His name was Mustafa. I was like, hey, man, what can I eat for lunch? I'm starving. He's like, nothing. Like, nothing's open. So he said, I can call my mom and she can bring you some local food if you want. I said, great. So he called his mom. She pulled up in a pickup truck and gave us this amazing meal of like local spinach and chicken and this breadfruit. It's called breadfruit. It's the kind of fruit they grow there. And yeah, we started chatting, and he spoke perfect English, but he told me that I was the first American and first native English speaker that he's ever met. And I was shocked because he was like American. He sounded American. And yeah, we got along really well. And it was just an act of kindness that he, offered his mom to bring me some food. I didn't even know that Tonga shuts down on Sunday, and I actually turned it into a video. Like, literally the title was like, this country closes on Sunday. So yeah, that was something recent that happened that was cool.
Okay, and just 2 more questions, if that's okay. What are your travel essentials, like things you would never leave without?
So my whole business is pretty much on my phone, on my computer, on my camera. Nice camera and a drone. But like, man, I travel so lightly. I have just a carry-on backpack. I have like 4 shirts, 2 pairs of underwear, 3 pairs of socks. I do laundry every couple days, every 5 days.
Right.
But yeah, I'm a minimalist, man. Like, aside from camera gear, I have next to nothing. So To answer your question, what do I need to travel with besides a passport? Is just my computer, phone, and camera.
So there's no like one special item that you wouldn't, aside from those things, like.
Man, aside from electronics, like my bag is only electronics, camera, phone, as I told you, and like 5 shirts.
Or do you
I
have
have
any,
nothing else.
ever have any issues traveling somewhere with a drone where it's illegal and stuff like that?
I've never had any issues like getting a fine or a ticket or going behind bars, but I haven't like I have to enter these countries mostly in Africa because drones are banned in like every African country, and I'm always scared to enter in the airport, but I always get it in somehow, and never once have I been caught using it. But I'm very cautious about it. Like if it's super illegal in Morocco, right? So when I was in Morocco, I didn't fly it, for example.
But they didn't have a problem with you bringing it in, or they just didn't see it.
They've never been seen. Knock on wood. They've never like opened it out and like, hey, you can't bring this in. So
Cool.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm lucky.
And last thing I would ask you is, there are many people who have hopes and dreams or passions, but they just don't really follow them. Like perhaps they think it's impossible or it would be too difficult. What would you say to those people?
Yeah, I'll just say this. It takes a certain person to do what I'm doing. It's very difficult to be able to put yourself 24/7 in the spotlight. You know, a lot of people are introverts. A lot of people don't want to be on camera. A lot of people don't want to just be on social media and talk about their life 24/7. It's a lot of pressure and stress that I have, and I think it's very much not for everyone. But if you think you can do it, then go for it. And the biggest key to everything is just be unique and be yourself. A lot of people try to be someone that they're not. Fake Instagrammers. I have so many friends that are like, you know, you've seen it too. They post in the beautiful swimming pool in the hotel, and it's like, because they get it sponsored. But that content is just useless. It's meaningless. You just have to like find the things that you like and that you're passionate about. And if you're obsessed with coffee and you just love coffee so much, then start making content about coffee. Go to coffee shops around the world. Go to Ethiopia. Go to Colombia and make content there. And that is something that you love to do. And eventually, you know, this doesn't happen overnight. I've been doing this for 6 years. I started my blog 6 years ago. I've been doing videos for 2 years, every day for 2 years. That's 600 something videos. So it takes a while, man, to it's a lot of patience, but anything can be done. But a lot of people underestimate the workload that goes in this. They just see the final product. They just see the 2-minute video that goes online every day, and they don't realize that took 16 hours to make, which is okay. I have no problem with that. But that's why a lot of people don't make it, because they try it and then they're like, and also you're not going to make money in the first year, right? And not a lot of people can just take a year. They're already so committed in their job that they can't just take a year off. Luckily, when I graduated college, I neglected the corporate life like immediately, and I taught English. So like, I guess I pat myself on the back that I realized that opportunity, and I know that a lot of people don't do that, or they haven't done that, and it becomes harder and harder to do it, especially if you have a family. If you get more responsibilities, then it's nearly impossible. So it's a very, that's just what's on my mind. But I just want to let everyone know listening to this that it's definitely not impossible to do it. You just have to put in the time and effort, which a lot of people won't do. That's what it comes down to.
Right, but you're quite close to having visited every country in the world. When you started, did you actually think that this was all possible?
No, and I didn't have a goal to visit every country. When I was in Prague, I was just traveling around. Even when I went to Korea, I was still traveling around. I think once I hit about 80 countries, I was like, okay. And I had a couple friends who had been to every country just from networking through blogging.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, you know, I'm 23. I've been to 80 countries. I think I can, why not? You know, I have nothing to lose. I have no responsibilities. You know, and yeah, it's expensive, but I leveraged a lot blogging wise. In the early years, I would get free hotels, I would get free blah blah blah, and then I traveled really cheaply for the first few years. But then, you know, my income has gone up, but I'm still frugal, so I still like won't spend that much money on a hotel or a meal. Just dude, visas and flights cost me like a ridiculous amount of money last year, and this year will probably be even more. You would not believe how much I spent on flights and visas. It's insane. That's probably like, just flights and visas is probably 70% of all my life expenses.
Wow.
Just travel, life, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, and just one thing I remember, when you go back, you ever go back to the States to visit anyone?
3 times a month, 3 times a year. So I'm going back next month.
So
Yep.
you go back there, they see you've been to Iran, North Korea, whatever. Are you like on a, anti-terrorism watch list or something? Like, they ever get questioned and stuff like that?
I've never been questioned at immigration, but I have global entry, so I just walk in. But I'm prepared for it. Like, and also I have nothing to hide.
Right.
I have if I get, into immigration, if they ask me a million questions, I'll say, guys, listen.
Google me.
Yeah, exactly. Google me. You can see my content. I have, a billion video views. I inspire, a lot of people. And, what do you want from me? I'm not bringing cocaine into the country, so you can search my bags. You can do whatever you want. So I'm not really worried about it, honestly.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on. Good luck with your travels. It's really been a pleasure talking to you. And please, if you can, come back on when you're done, when you've been all around the world. I would love to hear about that again.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. It was nice speaking together. And we'll keep in touch and we'll talk again when I finish this thing.
Safe travels.
Yep. Thank you, man. See you later.
That was Drew Binsky. If you want to find out more about him, you can visit his website. That's drewbinsky.com, drewbinsky.com. I believe he's also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Drew Binsky. I really hope that you enjoyed the interview. If you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, Facebook, it's at Chusidel. That's Chusidel. And obviously we have the podcast accounts as well at You Are Not a Goat. As always, I love hearing from you guys. So if anyone has any comments, feedback, criticism, please send me a tweet. You can DM me, whatever floats your goat. I respond to every single message. It may take me a couple days, but I will get to it. If you enjoyed the podcast, please tell your friends about it. Like, subscribe, share the podcast. You can leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. It's greatly appreciated. It helps the show grow. We are on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, Podbean. Hopefully we're going to get into the Google Play Music store as soon as possible. So listen, enjoy, share it with your friends. My name is Shlomi Zients. You're listening to You Are Not a Goat, and we will see you next week.
You Are Not a Goat, the podcast for you.